We have all heard the headlines, but today we are going into the fine print. When we talk about the Epstein files, we aren't just talking about a single list of names. We are talking about over 5 million pages of investigative records, internal FBI memos, and raw deposition transcripts that have only recently seen the light of day. These documents provide a forensic look at how a billionaire predator built a global network of influence, and perhaps more importantly, how he maintained it even after being branded a sex offender. If you thought the initial news was shocking, wait until you hear the details hidden in the footnotes. The story truly changed in early 2024 when a judge ordered the unsealing of records from a 2015 civil lawsuit. This wasn't just a list of associates, it was a detailed map of Epstein's social and professional universe. For the first time, we saw the specific allegations made by survivors like Johanna Schoberg and Virginia Giuffre in their own words. One of the most striking details involves the sheer normalcy Epstein tried to project. Guests like Michael Jackson or David Copperfield were seen at his properties, not necessarily accused of crimes, but their presence served a purpose. They provided the star power that made Epstein's world seem legitimate and safe to the young women he was grooming. But the files go much deeper than high society sightings. They reveal the dark mechanics of the massages, a term we now know was a thin veil for systemic sexual abuse. Testimony from former House staff describes a disturbing routine, fanning out stacks of $100 bills, maintaining a hidden firearm near the bed, and a constant rotation of massage therapists, some of whom were reportedly recruited from local high schools. The records even show a draft indictment from 2007 that was never filed, a document that proves federal prosecutors were prepared to charge not just Epstein, but several of his personal assistants long before the infamous non-prosecution agreement was signed. Speaking of that agreement, the files shed new light on the role of powerful legal figures like Alan Dershowitz. The documents detail his extensive involvement in negotiating the deal that allowed Epstein to avoid a life sentence in Florida. They also include explosive, though often unverified, claims from victims about being directed to have sex with various prominent men in Epstein's circle. While many of these allegations have been denied by the people named, the documents proved that investigators were aware of these claims for decades. As we navigate through these millions of pages, it is important to take a breath and remember why this matters. This isn't just about sensationalism, it's about the integrity of our legal system. If you believe that no one should be above the law, then these files are the evidence we've been waiting for. If you appreciate us digging through the paperwork to find the truth, please take a moment to subscribe or share this episode with someone who cares about accountability. Your support keeps this investigation going. Recent releases from the Department of Justice have added even more fuel to the fire. We've seen internal FBI logs documenting tips that were called in for years, some corroborated, many not, that suggest Epstein's reach extended into the worlds of tech and international politics far later than previously admitted. Emails show that even after his 2008 conviction, Epstein remained in contact with global figures, including members of the British royal family and prominent Silicon Valley CEOs. The documents suggest he wasn't just a socialite, he was a bridge between the worlds of extreme wealth and political power. Perhaps the most haunting part of the latest document dumps is the evidence of what was missed. The Inspector General's report into Epstein's death in federal custody confirmed a combination of negligence and misconduct that allowed him to take his own life. The files detail how security cameras failed, how guards falsified records, and how the most notorious inmate in the world was left unmonitored for hours. It's a recurring theme in the Epstein files. At every critical juncture where the system could have stopped him or held him accountable, it failed. To summarize what we've uncovered in this deep dive, first, the files proved that the government's knowledge of Epstein's crimes was far more extensive and began much earlier than the public was told. Second, the massages were part of a highly organized corporate-style trafficking operation that involved multiple enablers. And finally, the ongoing release of millions of pages ensures that this story is far from over. The names might be redacted, but the patterns are becoming crystal clear. Thank you for staying with me through this complex and often difficult journey. The truth is rarely simple, but it is always worth finding. We will continue to monitor the Department of Justice releases as more pages are unmasked. Until then, keep your eyes open and stay committed to the facts. We'll see you in the next episode.